Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're actually going to be doing something that I think would qualify as a doodle. I know this channel is called Your Daily Doodle, but I really don't really do a lot of doodling on here. You guys have mostly just seen like finished pieces and some, I guess, sketches in my sketchbook, but those weren't really super doodly. They're super messy, but I don't know. But I just think that what we're working on today, I would consider more of a doodle. I just decided that I wanted to do a couple of self-portraits. I don't really draw myself often. I've been drawing myself a bit more in recent years just because for a while I was doing Instagram reels and the audios were just more suited to like drawing yourself, I guess, if that makes sense. Like stating your opinions. So if you're like gonna like make like a silly little joke, it would just make more sense to like draw yourself as the one telling a joke, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, so but those were a little bit different than what I'm doing today. I'm trying to draw more of me and what I do in like my own personal time, if that makes sense. I've never really been into drawing myself, not because I like have anything against myself per se. It's just I don't really have ideas for drawing me, and not really. I don't really like taking pictures. I haven't since I was like a little kid, like ever. Not even like a looks thing. Like I don't care what I look like. And I looked different when I was a kid. I didn't know. I just don't like taking pictures. It's just some aversion that I have, and so I don't really take references so I could draw what I genuinely look like. I mean, I know what I look like from a mirror or whatever, and I know it's not accurate. It's not really accurate when you take pictures of yourself either, but that's not really the point. I'm not really trying to draw myself for accuracy. I just like I should just draw myself more. Apparently, I saw like a reel from an artist, and she was like, I learned to love myself more if I draw myself. I'm not really doing that for that purpose. I don't know. I just felt like drawing myself today. I've never really been big on like drawing personas, so every time I draw myself, it's me. I've tried to draw personas in the past, like something to represent me, but they all just felt kind of disingenuous. And I was like, this doesn't really represent me. It's not really describing my personality. You know, like a persona, I feel like should like when you depict yourself. I don't really have like a stylization of what I think represents myself, if that makes sense. This is not really me working on trying to figure out a way to stylize myself. I really, when I draw myself, I kind of just draw myself as I am through my own perception. Like some people draw themselves as like a little monster, or they're like just like a little blob or whatever. I could never come up with anything that I felt represented myself more than just me, if that makes sense. I think I have trouble thinking of myself in like an abstract sort of way. So yeah, whenever I draw myself, I just draw myself as is most of the time. And so what that means is just me with my little glasses and my hair in a bun. And usually I like to draw my earrings. I have 3 sets, and I think those are just my defining character traits, I guess, is a bun, glasses, and 3 sets of earrings. I didn't draw that this time. Just because the doodles are so small and you probably weren't going to be able to see them anyway, so I didn't bother. So I'm just drawing myself right now, sitting down playing Switch. I've talked about this in a previous video. I actually finished Pokemon Violet, so thankfully it's not consuming my life anymore. There is some extra stuff you could do at the end of the game, but usually once I beat all the stuff, like the main game stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't feel the need to do like extra stuff or get downloadable content or whatever. And I've never been the kind of person who's like, I have to 100% a game. I like 100% it in the sense where I play the whole storyline, but like getting all of the things, going around, finding all the secret stuff, like I'm not interested in that. I am just a main storyline sort of person. Just speed it one all the way through, and then I'm done. So thankfully, that will help me focus a little bit more on my art stuff. Like I said before, I tend to like hyper focus on things. So if I'm into one hobby at the time, other hobbies tend to fall by the wayside. Thankfully, I didn't fall too by the wayside. I was still able to post videos for you guys every day of the week. And so Pokemon did not get in the way of that. But I felt like, oh, maybe I should just draw myself reacting to Pokemon a little bit in this doodle page. So this is just a sketch of me playing the Switch, and then you'll see another sketch of me later reacting to something on the Switch. And that's what this next sketch is going to be. I didn't add any dialogue to these little doodles, even though a couple of them I did right after. I don't know, I just feel like it would be kind of boring if you guys just sat and watched me write words down. I don't know. So yeah. Just a quick word about my art supplies, I guess. This is the same thing I always do, you know, it's high-tech-C, but this time it's in the color pink, and then it's just, a watercolor pen, the same one that I always use. The name I'm blanking. The Ecoline brush pen. Sorry, I was blanking for a second there. Yeah, and so it's just those two in pink. When I draw myself, I tend to go for pink, not because pink is my favorite color or anything. My favorite color is green, but there's something I find really visually appealing about pink, and I really like pink sketches. So typically when I sketch, it's usually in pink. You guys have not really seen me sketch anything in pink, really. I think maybe one time on the channel I've sketched in pink, but that's because I've been doing whenever I sketch, it's gonna be like a character thing. I usually use the character's color, which I've talked about in a previous video about OCs. So I like to color coordinate my OCs. You haven't really seen me sketch the character that I have pink picked out for. I guess you haven't seen me sketch in pink digitally. But even traditionally, I like to sketch in pink. And so when I sketch myself, I usually just go for the default, which is pink. When I was a kid, I didn't really like pink. You know, like how young girls, they're either like the really, really girly girl, or they're the kind of girl that like rejects girliness. I was more of the latter. So for a long time I didn't like pink, and my parents would like try to get me pink stuff, and I was like, ooh, I don't like to wear pink. And now that I'm an adult, I can stop being so, you know, unknowingly, misogynistic, and I can be like, yeah, I like pink. Pink is a good color. Pink is really good color in art, I think, also. I still really wear pink, but that's just because now mostly I just wear black, or like my favorite color is like orange or green. But I can like pink from an artistic standpoint, and I use it a lot in my art. I think it really looks good on in skin tones, and just in sketches and stuff. So yeah, you see me finishing up that previous sketch of me just being angry at the game, just because when I talked about Pokemon previously, I was talking about how I was having a lot of fun catching Pokemon, and then like a couple of days later, I got to like some point in the game where the capture rate apparently was really low. I don't know what it was, but suddenly it was taking me like 10 to like 15 Pokeballs to catch a Pokemon that I had already damaged, and I was like, what is going on? And I was getting really frustrated. So that's what that drawing is about. And then I'm just drawing myself crying on my desk. That's mostly a joke, just because I don't cry at my desk. If I'm gonna cry, I usually do it in bed. No, I'm just kidding. Mostly, I don't know, whenever I draw myself, I tend to like always have at least one sketch where I'm crying, just because I cry a lot. And not just because I'm sad, I just cry for all sorts of reasons. If I see a commercial, I'll cry. If I'm like, it's so wholesome. Or if I watch a show and they're like being friends, just like the power of friendship always gets me. So I'll start to cry. Literally, I will cry at just about anything. And at the drop of a hat. So I just draw myself crying sometimes. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a person who cries a lot. I mean, it depends on like the underlying reason, but I just cry because I'm sensitive, and also I'm just kind of a crybaby. I don't think there's anything wrong with that though. But I did feel like the spread was getting just a little bit negative, because I drew myself angry and then I drew myself crying. So I was like, I gotta lighten up the mood a little bit. So I just drew myself happy real fast. And then the final sketch is just a sketch of me trying to dance. I like to dance when I'm by myself, just because I'm not a really good dancer, but I put a lot of energy into it. So it's really something you gotta do when you're on your own. Um, if you're embarrassed like I am, I get it. People are like, you should dance when like no one's watching. And you know what? I'll do that when no one's watching. But there's something about wildly flailing your arms in public that is like maybe not the move. So I try not to do that. So yeah, that's basically the end of the spread. I know I said in an earlier video this week that I thought maybe about doing studies on Thursdays. It's just that I've been kind of tired this week. I don't have the flu anymore, but I'm still not feeling 100%. Like, I'm still not really hungry or anything like that. And I don't know what the problem is, but yeah, I've just been kind of tired. So sorry that this is not a study, but I couldn't think of anything to study. And also, I was just like, I'll just draw myself. I never draw myself. And also, it would be good to just show you guys what I look like. I'm never really going to post a picture of myself. Like I said, I don't like taking pictures of myself. So this is probably the closest you're going to ever see to what I look like. So I figured I would just put that on there. I mean, my profile picture is also drawing of myself. For the same reason, because I was never going to post any pictures of myself. But, yeah. I mean, I'm sure if someone was really dedicated enough, they could figure out how to find pictures of me on the internet somewhere. But I'm not really going to think about that. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of the spread. I'm just drawing myself here. So hopefully next week I'm going to be feeling a little bit better and I'll be able to like actually do a study on Thursdays like I planned. I just have to think about what I want to study. I know I should probably try to study backgrounds. And I guess that would really shake up the channel a little bit, break up the things that I draw. Literally all you guys that see me do is characters. But characters are my favorite thing to draw. And I like to come up with stories. And I know that backgrounds can help convey story. And you can convey story through background by deciding what you put in the background and what little details are in there. But I've talked about how I'm not really very detail oriented as an artist, and coming up with details is kind of hard for me. So that could also be part of the reason why I struggle with backgrounds. And also, I don't really like a lot of clutter. And so people, they're like, oh, do storytelling through backgrounds, and they just typically add like so much stuff. And when I look at all of that stuff, it kind of makes me anxious. So, well, maybe I'll do a study of like my room. Like, I'll take pictures of my bedroom and I'll try to draw that, because to be honest, it's kind of a mess in here. But even when I say it's a mess, it's still not as cluttered as those images of people drawing like super like cluttered rooms. I don't know what it's called. Like, it's like an opposite movement of minimalist, so it's like maximalist or something. Yeah, it's not that cluttered, but there's a lot of stuff I could draw. So maybe I'll just do studies of my room next week. That could be cool. Anyway, here I am just coloring in thick doodles. I'm really glad that I decided to just save the coloring at the end. It is a bit more personally satisfying for me if I just finish the sketch and I color it in. But you know, it does save time if I save all the coloring for the ending instead of doing it after each sketch. And just to talk a little bit about the stylization. So for that one where I'm angry, I just decided to draw myself a little bit more with sharper edges, a little bit more spiky. I'm trying to figure out how to stylize expressions, you know, and so I was like, well, if I'm angry, I should try to draw it a bit more sharp. And I could get into more of like the understanding of like shapes and stuff, and shapes to convey emotions. But like I said, I'm not an art teacher and I'm not particularly smart when it comes to art. I just copy things that I've seen other people do. but that's kind of the thought process there. I just kind of wish when I drew the picture of me crying, the little two hairs that I have sticking out at the top, I kind of wish I drew them both drooping down to help convey sadness. I thought about it for the angry part, but I wasn't thinking about it when I was drawing my crying self. So that's like a note I have for myself for next time. And then I guess I could have done the same thing for the happy drawing. I could have drawn both of the little hairs sticking up. I just wish I could. This are the things that would come up if you plan things forward. But these are just doodles, so I didn't really plan them. I just drew them off the top of the dome. Anyway, that's the end of the video. I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one for a sketchbook tour. Bye.